That's the line where we encouraged the men as they stood and encouraged the women too. Queen Afora and the energy she raised, the vibration in this place was amazing, amazing, amazing. All these beautiful black men that are valuable, that are worthy, that are the standard, that are wealthy, that are successful. Wow.
They stood up, and then I said, sit down. And I said it with love in my voice. I said, sit down, black people. I'm not interested in shaming you. I'm interested in you seeing what it's like to never come up with any excuse to dehumanize yourself, no matter how angry you get. For you to never go there as an option, no matter how pissed off you get at Chico's and Stephen Jobs, that you don't even go there. A serial killer could kill you, that's white, and you won't. I just want you to see what it looks like. You know what we do. I said, I'm here for you. This has to do with black love. I'm here for you because I love you. They're here because they invited me, but I'm here for you. And we have to start behaving like we are interested in black survival, black love, and black mental health, which means we got to do what they do when they get mad at white folks and not put down white folks no matter what. We can't put down black people no matter what, including the cone word.
And I really appreciate how you illustrated that. And really the thought of to love someone that looks like you without question.
Without question.
Without question.
Not without quality concerns, but without question.
I just wanted to just add a footnote to what both of them said. It sounds like what I'm hearing is that you cannot have black love until you first learn how to love black.
That's right.
And the fact that we live in a world with conscious and unconscious invalidation of us as a people that we are constantly barraged with that we know of and then some we don't know of. For instance, you open up a dictionary and look up the word white. It's 134 definitions for white, 95% of them are positive. Look up black, 120 definitions for black, 90% of them are negative. You get kicked out of your fraternity or organization, you got blackballed. Stock market crash, they call it Black Monday. Even if you go and try to get you some baked goods, if you get angel food cake, it's white cake with white icing. Devil food cake, chocolate cake with chocolate icing. You having bad luck, you behind the 8 ball. 8 ball is the black ball. Black ball, the last ball to go in on the table. And in fact, if you put it in before the last, you automatically lose the game. But I'm looking in the audience, I can see some OGs out here. Some of y'all remember that pool table that had the 75 3/4 in there? Now, you know if you scratch and the white ball went in, it'll come back, but no other ball would. Why? Because the white ball is bigger and weighs more than the rest of the other balls on the table. What's the programming is that black people are last and white people are the ones that put everybody in their place. Tooth fairy. A little white girl in a Victoria's Secret outfit with some chicken wings on her back. The rainbow, the leprechaun, Santa Claus, Cupid. So, point is that we've been inundated with self-hatred. So before we can ever have black love, we must first be taught and trained how to love black.
I just want to, can we hold on to that? Right? Can we remember that we need to love black without question and to remember to love black, right? Like just period, right? And so I love what everyone is sharing so far. Dr. Adrian.
I think black love is recognizing the God in you. I think when we really talk about resolving that personal conflict, you have to go inward. And in the space of going in and finding love, in order to love black and to love yourself, I think is to recognize the God that is in you. I think the biggest trick that's been played on us is to not know how powerful we are in our own being. And so we go to the exterior to see the blackness or the whiteness or the light skin or whatever the pigmentation is, and then you begin to forget who you are because you're not looking internally. So black love becomes really, for me, if you recognize the God in you, then you're able to recognize the God in others. So, earlier today I walked into the bathroom and there were three young men. I found out they were like 18 and 19 years old. I think they were a set of twins, and I got into a conversation with them. They don't know that when I'm looking at them, I'm looking like, man, you boys are so amazing. Y'all are so beautiful. Y'all are awesome. Because I see the God in them. I see the opportunities in them. I see the promise in them. And wow, imagine what they're capable of as they continue to grow older, especially if they're getting the right mentorship. So that love that we are really talking about, I believe is understanding who you are and the God in you, and there you can find your power, and that allows you to love externally.
There is something, and a lot of the couples I work with, we get to this place of being able to talk about how do you really see your partner, right? In the beginning, you see your partner in a positive way. Over time, you start to think of your partner in all these horrible, unhealthy ways. And the goal is to somehow find a way back. What I love about what Dr. Adrian said is that we have to be able to see the good in us and be able to see the good in other people. We have to be able to see the dopeness in us and see the dopeness in other people. We have to see the God in us to be able to see the God in other people. And that allows us to connect. Now, I want everyone to really start thinking about, we're going to shortly turn over to questions that you might have. So think about it. We don't have a lot of time, but if you have questions, I'm going to get to that really shortly. We don't have enough time to really get into this topic that I'm about to introduce, because I see it day in and day out, and I know you all do too. Can you just talk about the impact of trauma and how that impacts love and black families? I know that's so deep. That's a whole that's a whole 2-day conference. But if you could just highlight just a little bit of that, and maybe like 30 seconds each, if possible.
Well, this is why I was inspired and glad that the sister gave me the inspiration to talk about hope first and optimism first, because the war is serious. And we're going into several generations of unresolved trauma that has been mistaken for culture and mistaken for black norms. Like even calling ourselves N-words and stuff like that, and saying sit your black self down, but I'm not cussing on purpose, and all those other things. These have become norms, hiding how we look and doing other things to call it enhance. I call it unhance myself. But to so-called enhance ourselves. We're doing all these things because we're dealing with several generations of unresolved trauma. And that trauma has put us in a trance. Those of you who heard me speak, heard me talk about the white supremacy imposed white trauma trance that black people live in, which as a result, we're not really fully present. We're kind of on automatic pilot. And we're not all here. Not because we don't have capacity to be all here, but we are conditioned to think what's good for us is anti-white and not sacrilegious. We think that to be pro-black is a going against God. One of the things that I was thinking of, what his brother said, see the God in ourselves, see the black God in ourselves. Because some of us see a white Jesus.
Said that.
And I know
I wasn't talking about that.
I know you weren't talking about I know you weren't, but I bet you one thing, the church tomorrow, it's gonna be packed. It's a day Saturday, I forgot the day is. Anyway, it's gonna be packed with people who are looking for the white God in themselves. So when it comes to being in a trauma trance, how you break the trauma is through explicit language. And explicitly learning that language must be decoded. I mean, go back to what this brother mentioned earlier, and I'm just talking about things that you need to remember so you can notice these things in your system and reject them and deflect them. In the English language, he already talked about the 90 anti-black words. Where in the English language, and I'm saying this because it's relevant to getting to self-love, having the capacity to critically think and decode. There's no such thing as the term black slavery. There's such thing as the term white slavery, but black is considered slavery, and it's redundant to add black. And when you do white slavery, oh my God, they're practicing white slavery. Nobody gets nervous when you talk about 12 years a slave. So, and also there's little white lies, the cute, wonderful lies. The kind that Biden tells y'all, whoever else y'all gonna vote for next election. But the point I'm making is that we cannot reach black love in a way that's clear and concise and focused without deconstructing the war zone.
Thank you. Trauma. Just the impact of trauma on black love.
Trauma. There's a book out called Slavery, the Psychic Trauma from the Slave Experience by Naeem and Sultan Latif. And in this book, they interviewed thousands of black people and compared the kind of choices that we made when it came to mate selection, food, employment, names we gave our children, etc. And they found that 94% of all the decisions that current black people make in America right now were based off of plantation life. And only 6% of the decisions that we make are rooted in our God-centered African culture we had before we came to America. We are suffering from what they call among the animal kingdom premature cognitive commitment. And what that says is that if you take any animal and you get it as a baby, if you can train it as a baby, then it will become that, as my brother said, on remote control or autopilot in the future. So they've taken fleas and put them in a jar, put a piece of plastic on the jar, and every time the flea jumps and tries to get out, it hits its head on the plastic. What does it do? It tells itself, this is as high as I can jump. At a certain point, you can remove the plastic and the flea will never jump out the jar. Not because something's wrong with his legs, but something's wrong with his mind. They've taken elephants and tied them to a string when they were newborns. And when the elephant grew old enough, not only to pull the string, but pull the whole tent down that the string was connected to. They never broke for freedom, not because the legs or the trunk was damaged, but because the mind was. They've even been able to find fish and put them in an aquarium, put a piece of glass in the middle of the aquarium. Every time the fish hit that glass, they tell themselves, this is as far as I can go. They remove the glass and the fish never go past where the glass used to be. Nothing wrong with the feeling or the guilt, something wrong with the mind. I'm saying for us as a people, we are existing with premature cognitive commitment, post-traumatic slave syndrome, and plantation psychosis. That trauma, as my brother said, 7 generations of unhandled trauma has us operating. We have to return back to our original way we were when we were a proud, powerful, pious, and productive people before we were kidnapped and Caucasianized and westernized by our enemy. Let's go back to doing it like we did before we came here. And we wouldn't even have to have a conference on black love. We'd be on autopilot, showing it to one another.
Trauma, because we superimpose, and I'm talking about when we have stored trauma, because we superimpose the past.
So today was the last day of the All Black National Conference. I couldn't give you guys everything because I was too busy actually enjoying the convention and the speakers. So I hope you did enjoy some of the clips, and then this is the wrap up of some of the vendors I met. I didn't edit out a lot of stuff. I wanted you to just see the event for what it was and how it happened. Excuse me. It truly was an invigorating experience. I feel enlightened from all that I encountered and was exposed to. The energy in the room it raised my vibration. That's all I can say about that. And it truly was a divine destination. So I'm so grateful to have had the experience to just see that come together. To see an entire conference room of melanated, carbonated beings that are on their stuff, that know their stuff, that were able to share and enlighten and help others. It wasn't just about business and money. It was also about love, growth. It was about health, because we know that our health is our wealth. Man, the gems that I got from that, I can't even, priceless. That's what I'll say. Very, just priceless. So enjoy the rest of the video, where I just try to give some of the vendors exposure and share with you guys some of the conference, some of the speakers. But if you haven't attended, it is an annual event, so you can prepare for next year, because this year is over and done with, and it was an amazing event. Like, each day when I left there, my vibration just was on another level, like seriously on another level. Shout out to Jamar James, one of the crypto speakers. I can't recall the other two right now, but I have it all in my notes. If you've been trying to get into that and you're not sure about it, I will be uploading some of the knowledgeable speakers that were at the conference that were giving information about that. But yeah, just every breakout session I attended was great, and every main event was great. And shout out to Queen Afora. When she came into the room and spoke, the way she brought the energy together between the men and the women, and the way we were able to uplift the men, I could feel their energy, feeling like they knew that they were worthy, that they were valuable, that they mattered, you know, and that they're not the lowest on the totem pole. And then in turn, they stood behind us and encouraged us to know that same thing, that we are loved, we were valuable. Like, if you have been there in that moment, it was amazing. So I'm so grateful to have had that experience. Yeah, one of the amazing divine destinations. Stay tuned for more.